Okay, so this is the first time taking the head off, so let's see how bad it is under there. That's looking pretty disgusting. Oh. There's some pretty bad build up around the exhaust port. Not really sure how deep that goes. It feels pretty bad, but yeah, that should clean up fine. Take a closer look inside. That's not looking too bad actually. Yeah, just some build up. The bore, that looks really good actually. Okay, so a closer look inside the bore. Knocked a load of carbon free, taking the head off, it looks like, but yeah, you can see the walls look pretty good. So no problems there, can't see any gouges. So yeah, I'll get this cleaned up and see what it looks like. So I was just having a look at this governor mechanism. It's quite an unusual one, because normally you've got the governor sort of acting on the carburettor, but this one you've got the carburettor separate over here, and then this separate governor piece here. I've already started to loosen the bolts, but yeah, so it's got an air vane here. Drops in here. This spring is normally it's bolted to the top of the engine through the head bolts. That's keeping this vane pushed forward this way. So as the engine speeds up, the fan blows this way. You can see around here that operates that plate around the side there and opens and closes a butterfly valve on the inside. So it's quite interesting to see a separate governor piece. Okay, so I've finished stripping down the block now. It's all looking really good nick actually. There's only a couple of little things that I'm slightly concerned about, but I'll show you those in a second. So look at the block first. It's quite a bit of a build up there on the deck, but that'll clean up fine. The ports, I'm not sure, I think that's quite a lot of build up there. That should clean out fine. I'm not sure what's sort of build up and what's casting defects, but we'll see in a bit. I'll put some stills to show it in more detail. It's really difficult to see the hone from here, but yeah, it's got quite a glaze to it, but I've got a new sort of hone tool, so I'll give that a quick go over and that'll come out looking really nice. The rest of the block, I can't see any damage to it anywhere. There's no sort of chipped cooling fins or anything. I haven't taken the cam out because I was reading the old manual for it online, and it sounds like you've got to tap it out from one side, take a seal off, and then tap it back the other way, and then do something else. So as there's no play in it at all and it's all looking fine, I'm just going to leave it in there. Yeah, there's no crud on the inside. I mean, the oil was desperately in need of a change, but it's all looking very clean in there, so that'll be fine. What else? So we've got the valves here, got intake and exhaust valve there. Bit of build up on them, but they're looking fine. There's no sort of pitting or anything that will mess up the compression, so yeah, give those a lapping and they'll come up absolutely fine. There's no scoring on the stems or anything, so yep, they're fine. So this is the sump, or the sort of base of the engine. You can see there's sort of the oil's quite gritty and bits in it, so get that all cleaned out and that should be fine. Might have caused a couple of problems here and there, which I'll show you on the big end of the conrod, but yeah, it doesn't seem too bad for an engine of this age. So here's the piston and conrod. I haven't separated them because there's no play in the little end, so it'll be absolutely fine. It's quite a build up on top of the piston, but that will clean up fine. all the rings are intact, and there's no sort of play in them, so they'll be absolutely fine. Really surprised how little scoring there is on the piston. It's got a couple of little bits, but other than that it's absolutely fine. My only concern is, if you can see on the inside of the big end there's a bit of scoring. So yeah, I just took the end cap off there, so you can see the scoring in there. It's quite bad. It's only in that centre section, but yeah, it'll be fine for the amount the engine will be running. There's no scoring on the crank, but yeah, it's just that little bit there, and same on the end cap. So hopefully that'll be fine. So here's the cylinder head. You can see I've cleaned it up a bit since I took the shrouding off. All seems to be fine. There's just one little corner chipped off there from taking out the spark plug. That was there previously, so I started cleaning up the inside, taking off the build-up that's on the flat. Just need to get in with the wire walling, do in those corners there, but yeah, it's all fine. You could see from the spark plug that it had been running quite rich, but this was running fine, so I'll keep this going for a little while longer. So I finally managed to wrestle the exhaust off. I was hoping I wasn't going to have to replace this because the replacement seemed to be a bit expensive, but I'm not sure if you can see down there. Half the sort of wall in there has started to collapse, and so there's yeah, bits of exhaust rattling around in there, so yeah, I'll have to get a new exhaust. I'll see if I can get that elbow off to reuse that, but yeah, unfortunately the actual muffler bit's got to get replaced. So it came with a nice copper head gasket, so yeah, that's in good nick, so I can reuse that one. The rest of the paper gaskets have gone a bit mucky, so I'll just make some new ones of those. So here's the crank. So now I see it in better light that there is actually a slight bit of scoring on that crank pin there, but nothing too bad, so the rest of it seems fine. Keyways aren't sort of mashed up or anything, just a bit of a clean up and it'll be fine. It does have timing marks on it somewhere. They're really faint and hard to see, but they are on there, so you can get this all put back together in the right order. Now, this is something I'm going to have to either replace or fix up. It's the starter cup nut. So this screws into the flywheel bolt, and then you can see over the years people have been rounding the corners off, and I had such a time getting this off, but eventually managed to get it free. But yeah, because it's kind of got that collar on it, I'm not sure whether it'll be an easy one to replace or not. So I've sent off for a quote from Villiers Parts to see if he's got a replacement. But if not, my plan was to put it in the lathe around there, face off that old nut head there, and then drill and tap it to put in a new bolt head, and then I don't either weld or silver solder that new bolt in the top of it, so that I can carry on using like from there down. So yeah, I was slightly concerned about the fuel tank. If you remember the still from the end of the last video, it's really gungy looking at the bottom and rusted and stuff. So I'm going to try the sort of BBs or gravel or nuts and bolts and stuff trick to try and get as much of that loosened up as possible. But yeah, I'm not sure how much I'll actually be able to get out. It's really thick in there, but yeah, the rest of it seems fine. Something I'm not sure is, you can see that weld line there. I'm not sure whether this has previously had an issue and rusted through, or whether that was just part of the manufacturing of it, but it feels really thick and heavy sort of gauge steel to make the tank, so I'm not sure it would have, whether this stuff, how this stuff could feel good and thick and that bit of rusted through, so I'm not sure. This tap on the end is brass, it looks like, so I'll get that polished up, and that'll look quite nice. So yeah, I've decided to go with red for the engine. I'm not sure I can be bothered to do the whole lawnmower, and because if I'm actually going to use it, then I've got to store it, and it's a lot bigger and stuff. So I think I'm just going to go with just restoring the engine, and I'll be putting the mower body up on eBay. So yeah, next thing I need to attack it with the wire wool and get it cleaned up.